last 10 days, I know my coaching staff and my players have been mixed emotions, obviously, very sad. I could see it in their faces. And it's throughout those moments, I've somehow found a way to laugh a little bit and see all the good things that Joey brought out of everybody. And even saddened this morning coming here, I had this image of Amity baseball players running through the woods in the middle of a rainstorm called the Warrior Run. And we run in pairs. And the coaches are up front. My two captains are behind me. And they loved it. Joey was behind me with Luke and Coppola, and soaking wet, cold, running through the woods, through the trails, through rivers. And then finally I hear them whispering behind me. Someone was whispering, we should just run straight through the pond at Amity High School. And I heard it, and all right, team bonding, Coach Coppola's in. So as we run toward the pond, I run straight in, sink to my waist in mud and water, and I look behind, and they're just standing there. Didn't put one foot in the water. And here their head coach is in the middle of the pond. The water was about 40 degrees. I heard over and over again from Mike Anatone, Joe's uncle, that we had a talented player coming to Amity. I was excited. He told me every time he saw me that his nephew was coming and he's a heck of a ball player. 3 years later, skip ahead a little bit, I see a kid with long hair, a blue hat on during practice. The team is all wearing black, and somehow he ended up in gold. Different, made us smile, made us sweat sometimes. This is a kid that before the game, we had a routine our pitchers would go through to get themselves mentally prepared to pitch. And I'd see Joey down in the bullpen, laying on his back, flipping the ball up into the air and catching it. And then at Amity, to warm up in the bullpen, we had a wooden batter that we put in there sometimes so our pitchers could get a lifelike batter in there. Well, Joey, when the opposing team was taking infield, would throw the ball as hard as he can, which was close to 90, and hit the batter. So it sounded like a gunshot was going off while the opposing team was warming up. So eventually the batter's head came off, but that was his form of intimidation. All kidding aside, this is what Joey brought. He brought a relaxation to our team. He made them smile. When they were warming up, stretching, he had players laughing. But when it came down to practicing his pitching, he was meticulous. He would throw pitch after pitch over and over until he got it in the right spot. In the games, he was a vicious competitor. Coach Spitzbard said to me, I've never met a person who could joke around and be so light at times, but when he got into the game, be such a vicious competitor. And if any of you had a chance to read the letter written by Guilford players about the fear they had to play against him and how much they envied his talents as a pitcher, it just goes to show how much of a competitor he was on the ice and also on the baseball field. We put him in every tough position you could possibly be put in. Coaches out there know we put him against the best teams. We put him in the toughest situations for a kid to handle. And Joey showed a tremendous amount of courage. And in the face of fear and worry that you're not going to do a good enough job, he always came through and pitched a great game. He had that inner courage, and he never let fear get the best of him. He displayed an inner confidence and courage that calmed the players around him. I think most players who played with him would attest to that. The few times I was able to see him after he graduated, it was coming back to watch past players that he was his teammates from the year before. He wanted to come back and watch them play and support those players. He was very loyal. It's obvious that what I've said today, Joe was a great player. He was a great teammate. Joe's former teammates and coaches were blessed to have him as long as we did, and I feel lucky, and I can speak for my players. Like Coach Foster said, I feel blessed to have had him in my life. I've talked to you about baseball, but I hope you understand, and I'm sure you do, that I was thinking about a lot more than just baseball when I wrote this. If I could give advice to my players or to my own son, daughter, good friends, it would be to be loyal to those you love as Joe did. His family knows how loyal he was. Just listening to Lindsay speak, it was obvious. Be focused and work hard for what you want or whatever you choose to do in life. But when the work is done, take time to enjoy life and laugh a little bit, which I think all of us forget to do sometimes. Show courage and don't let fear get in the way of your ability and achieving your goals. There's a lot more my players and I could learn just from baseball. We love him and we'll miss him, and I feel blessed to just have been lucky enough to have him in my life. Thank you.